So we're here and we're with Laura from I Go To Yoga, and we're going to be talking about our opening sequence. And I think if you can master the opening sequence, the flow is a little bit easier, and it gives you the ability to settle in. You're familiar with it. So Laura's going to tell us a little bit what the opening sequence is, and she's going to walk me through it. And if you get this, I think really you can start to really put everything together. Right?
Sure. We'll start off on the right foot. So go ahead and we're going to start at the top of our mat. We're going to come into a sun salutation. So we do a kind of a little different sun salutation than a pure yoga sun salutation. It kind of flows a little easier for us. So you're going to start with your feet planted right underneath where your hips would land, like where you plant when you run. Bring your arms up overhead.
And the breathing with this too, right, is breathe in and come up.
Yep. And that's an exhale, fold forward. And then you're going to inhale in a halfway lift. So you're going to bring your hands right below the knees and lengthen through the spine.
And I think key here, right, is to try to straighten the spine and not sitting
Not be rounded, right.
Pose.
And then we're going to exhale. We'll start with the left foot behind you into a lunge. The arms sweep up overhead. The heel is lifted in your lunge. We're going to bring the hands to the mat and step back to down dog. So we're going to hang out here for a moment. You have your fingers spread wide, and the weight of your hand is a little more centered into the thumb and the index finger. Try to keep your feet parallel. And if you want, you can alternate lifting one heel then the other, just to kind of stretch through the calves initially. From here, we're going to shift forward into plank. So that's basically the top of your push-up. Your shoulders are over the elbows, elbows over the wrists. You keep the stomach drawn in, and you're going to have your, you keep the hips a little bit low. And now from here, you can either drop your knees and come into kind of like a modified push-up, or you can exhale and come into a low plank. You bring your elbows straight back. You're hovering over the mat. We'll talk for a long time while you hold here.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Go ahead and draw the chest forward on the inhale. This is your up dog. And if you want, you can flip your feet. That's kind of the true yoga way, is to have your feet flat on the mat. It just sometimes makes it a little easier to transition back to down dog if you have your toes curled under. And that's where we're headed next. You can either add a little push up here if you want, and then lift into down dog. Relax your head in between your elbows. The neck is nice and long. Go ahead and lift your left leg overhead, and then draw it right up to the front of your mat, joined by your right, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. So there's, you exhale, drop in a chair. Sometimes we do that as well.
Yeah, my favorite pose.
Inhale back up. So that's the sun salutation that we use in the RunSmart yoga.
Yeah.
And if you figure that one out, we always start pretty much each sequence with that. And it just kind of springboards into the rest of the poses.
Yeah, it's really key to get that down, because that's how we open every single yoga. And if you, every single yoga session, if you get into the flow, you're not like staring at the screen trying to figure out what's going on. You can listen to the words. So go through that, make sure you can get that first part down. It'll pay off, so you know exactly what's going on, and it gives you a good flow into the rest of the workout.
Right, and syncing your movements with your breath is important. You inhale into one move and you exhale into the other.
Yeah, and I find that takes a little bit of practice, but as you go through it, you can definitely get that.
Yep.
Okay.